Welcome to Graphic Novies, where I review films that have been adapted for comic and graphic novels. In this weekly show I will take films from the high point of comic book adaptations and films from the low point. I will show how comic book movies should be done and how they shouldn't be done. I'm starting off this series by reviewing probably one of the most underrated comic adaptations of all time. Although it was a huge hit at the time due to the accidental death of the lead character on the set, The Crow has kind of been forgotten in these 19 years since its original release. It has since become a cult film and has even spawned 3 sequels and a TV show. Sadly, there's also a remake in the works. The basic plot of The Crow is that a man named Eric Draven, played by Brandon Lee, is killed, as well as his fiancée, in a savage attack by a gang of notorious characters. They're kinda like the gangs of films like Scarface. A crow taps on Eric's headstone exactly a year after his death and brings Eric back to life so he can get revenge on the people who killed him before. Eric, who is now immortal, becomes known as the Crow, and he fucks people up left, right and centre. The film's a little slow in the beginning, but when Eric comes back as the Crow, the film is non-stop action fun for the rest of the film. It's a huge shame that Brandon Lee was killed during the making of the film, because his performance was so creepy and suspenseful that I had to listen to whatever he said, just like the Joker in The Dark Knight or Samuel Jackson in Pulp Fiction. The Crow has a dark feeling throughout the film that makes you feel dirty for enjoying it. Everything from the colours down to the nature of the film is just full on dark. It makes it even creepier. The film has been compared to Blade Runner and Batman due to its large landscapes and interesting characters. The critic Roger Ebert described The Crow as a grungier and more forbidding story than both Batman and Blade Runner. In a way, I think I kind of agree with him. I like Batman and Blade Runner, but in The Crow you really feel the anger through the character of Eric. You feel angry with him and you're glad when he calls his vengeance on the gang that killed him and his fiancée. Like I've said twice, Brandon Lee was tragically shot and killed after a bullet was trapped inside the barrel of a gun and fired instead of a blank bullet that was meant to be shot. Sadly, unlike his dad Bruce Lee, Brandon Lee didn't really have a huge legacy behind him after he died. He only had The Crow, but I'm sure if he lived to this day, he would have a huge career, all fueled by the unique performance he gives in the film. My Graphic Novies rating for The Crow is a 5 out of 5 due to the exciting action, amazing performance and the faithfulness to its source material. Join me next week where I will be reviewing 1997's abomination known as Spawn.